start and alhamdulillah, we'll finish. This is your favorite podcast, 3.2. This is one of your hosts, Hamadi,
This is Jelani.
and we're going to run back part 2 for the episode Prophet Musa. Where we stopped was the part where Prophet Allah tells Prophet Musa to go back to Fir'aun, and then Prophet Musa was like, oh, if Fir'aun is lost, continue and I'll finish off.
Yeah, so basically we left at I'll say a cliffhanger, basically. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends Musa alayhi salam to the Fir'aun, basically in Pharaoh in English. And basically his mission is basically to convince Fir'aun or the Pharaoh to believe in the ways of Musa. Back in the times, people it wasn't like, there wasn't a such thing called Islam, you know? Islam was basically named during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So basically, whatever messenger or prophet was there at that time, they would just say, I follow I believe in the God of Moses and the teachings of Moses, or the teachings of Abraham, or the teachings of Isa alayhi salam. You know what I mean? So basically, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Musa to go and convince Fir'aun to follow his religion. So next thing you know, as he took his family, he took his wife and everybody there, and basically he walked into the palace, you know, the palace of Fir'aun. And remember, Musa was basically, he knew this person, he grew up with Fir'aun, and Fir'aun's basically watching a kid that he raised himself with him and his wife coming into his palace, especially knowing that, you know, and now because now the stipulations are different. It's not like Musa alayhi salam is coming back from like a trip or something. Musa alayhi salam is coming back from leaving the place of Fir'aun from the person that he killed. So now Fir'aun is basically looking at Musa as basically a criminal. You know what I'm saying? Basically a criminal, a murderer. How could you do such thing? So, and now seeing Musa, you know, come back boldly in front of his palace, it's like, this man got some balls. You know what I mean? So Musa's coming in. The Pharaoh is just sitting down in his chair in his palace, and then they get to the conversation. And so then next thing you know, I don't know how the conversation went by.
So I'll continue. So Musa and Harun, his brother, comes. They come in. They're like, okay, we want to tell you guys about the one God. And then Fir'aun is like, one God?
Oh yeah.
I am the God. What is this influence you have on my people? Prophet Musa says, I want you to release Bani Israel to me, you know, so I can teach them and show them the righteous way, because I am a messenger from Allah. Allah has sent me to show them the true God, the one that almighty, the one that controls everything, the one that makes everything, the one that, you know, writes every little detail and rewrites or erases, writes, whatever, all that, the commander of all death and this, all that is my Lord. And then Fir'aun goes, what? I'm that.
Yeah.
I'm that.
And then basically Musa alayhi salam, he also, basically this is a famous hadith or a famous part of the story, or he asked them, who do you, basically Fir'aun asked, so what type of God you believe in? He said, the God that gives life and the God that gives death. He's like, I could give life and death. So he brought out two people. And this happened many a times with the messengers and the prophets, where they tell the whatever dictator or king or whatever ruler was there at the time, it's like a repetitive thing where they'll be like, I follow, or what's the name? I believe in the one that gives life and takes life. And so they always bring out somebody in jail, and they always bring out somebody who's in trouble. So Fir'aun, he brings out two people. And then one of them, he was basically already was gonna die because there's some thing he was gonna do. Yeah, he did something. And then there was another one where, you know, his stipulation was a bit different. So he said, okay, kill that one and then let that one go free. And then he's like, you see, I give life and I give death. This guy, I killed him, and the other one, I gave him life. So basically, I forgive him for everything that he did. And then Musa alayhi salam, what did he say after?
He's like, no, that's not what it means. He says, Allah makes life. You don't make life. You just took that guy's life, okay, which Allah has allowed you to, you know. You take advantage of Allah, the power He's given you in this dunya. Fir'aun is like, no, you just said He takes life and give life. I killed that guy and I let this guy live. He literally took the whole what the Prophet said into a whole other concept. That's not what he meant. But the Fir'aun, you know, he's arrogant, you know. He wants to show Because Prophet Musa, when he approached them, all these people are around him. You know, now for Fir'aun is a show, you know?
Yeah.
It's a show.
Ego, basically, it's an
you
ego
know?
contest.
For him, he's like, okay, tell me about your God. He tells him, my God is this. Is that? He's like, I do all that, man. And then he disrespects. And then he says, who is this guy you talk about? Like the Rasul, you know, the Allah, the Almighty. He goes, I don't know this guy. This guy you're talking about, I don't know, because he's arrogant right now. All he sees, the shaitan is influencing him. And what you said is correct. Because all these tyrants, when the prophets come across them, they say the same thing
over and over.
That's because that's Iblis. You know, Iblis, he uses the same method over and over and over and over again. The prophets corrected, Iblis comes, wait centuries, does it again. It does it again. So Fir'aun wasn't the first guy to say it, but he was one of the worst guys to ever do it. So the prophet, the prophet goes, Allah has given me the ability to show you that I'm a prophet. Fir'aun standing there goes, well, he give you the prophet? Okay, let's see what you can do. He goes, he shows him. The first sign he does is he gets the stick and throws it. The snake gets large, you know. The prophet wants to convince Fir'aun. Allah has told him.
I thought it was his hand first.
No, it was the snake.
Was the stick? All right.
He threw the stick. Fir'aun goes, sihr,
with
magic, black magic. You trying to trick me? You want to deceive me, huh? He goes, you are the leaders of all the sihr. The people that commit sihr, you are their leader. And then he goes, I know what you did, and I know some people who have better sihr than you. And now he wants to compete with the prophet after he just showed him a sign. He goes, they make an appointment. He goes, I'll bring you other sihirs. You think you're different from them? I'll bring it to them. So they set an appointment the day where there's a festival where everybody is out there, and he calls up all the sihirs, the magicians, to prove the prophet that he's false. You remember that story?
Yeah, I remember that
Continue
part.
For that.
So basically when that day came, you got to think how Musa's feeling, because now he basically got to put the power up to the test, and this is where he got his whole basically his whole trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at this point. So next thing you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling like trust us, just do the instructions that we do and do as instructed. Just throw your stick out there. So next thing you know, the day came and everybody's gathering around on this day. During that time, Fir'aun was looking for the best of the best. So basically the best people that gives out the best magic, or that can do the best magical thing, you know? And then Musa, all he had was his stick. So next thing you know, the day came, everybody's surrounded. It's like a big crowd, you know, and everybody's just waiting and attending to what's going to happen. So next thing you know, I don't know who went first. I think they went first. So basically, they went first, and then they did their little magic, and they brought out huge amount of snakes.
By the way,
a whole lot of snakes.
He called them. He said he sent like pretty much an email, I guess, or like an envelope. He said, all the sihirs come out. I will pay you if you defeat his snake. Come. So all these sihirolas, the magicians, they were feeling cocky, you know. They're like, we know the tricky of the eye. We know this. Yeah. So what they do is they throw their stick, right? What they do is they're tricking the eyes. Though they don't turn their stick into what you call a snake. Only Allah has given that will to Prophet Musa. So what they do is they deceive the human eyes. They throw the stick and kick it away, and then a bucket, something was laying there, something, you know, to deceive the human's eye. A snake would pop up. Everyone go, and their snakes they're using regular snakes. So now there's like these. Imagine there's like 100 people. Okay, Allah knows how many magicians there were there. It was a bunch. It was a lot. All of them threw their stick, and then all of them did their sihr. They became snakes. You know, they're all like feeling cocky. And now they look at Musa and they say, "You do it." Prophet Musa throws his stick. His snake becomes
massive, huge. No snake that they ever seen before.
Never
seen this snake before.
Now the snake Prophet Musa's snake eats all of their snake. Now the magicians, you know, if you're doing something false and you see true light, you're convinced already.
Oh God.
Now the sihiradis are like, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Subhanallah. Yeah. This is not what we signed up for.
This is not what we signed up for.
This guy, he is telling the truth. From that point, the magicians become Muslim. So now Fir'aun is sitting in his chair watching this happen. The people who he tried to use to convince the other people that Musa was false now are convinced He is the true
Oh
leader.
God, because then
He's
after
like,
that he got a bigger following.
Yeah,
After that happened, they had a bigger following, and more people started following Musa alayhi salam.
so Fir'aun is standing there like, what the heck? He gets upset. He's arrogant. He says, kill them. He kills them. Let's see, hear all this. And then he says, the prophet says, I'll show you another sign. He puts his hand in there. That's when he puts his hand in his chest, brings it out, his arm glows, you know? Allah is giving him all these signs. Fir'aun is arrogant.
Arrogant as a mug. Arrogant as crazy.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You know? So the prophet, he says, okay, you don't believe me. They had an argument. They went back and forth. The Fir'aun is still not convinced. So another day comes by. The prophet, I said whatchamacallit. The prophet lives amongst his people trying to convince. Not Ben Israel, they witnessed this, you know? They see it. Now they're guaranteed that he is a prophet. He is sent from Allah. So the prophet Musa, he can't leave his people. He has to stay in Ben Israel.
Because they're still under the power
Of Fir'aun. He won't let them go. So what Allah gives them signs, you know? He gives them drought. You know, you remember the first sign?
Yeah, he said, well, so basically, I thought that was far along ahead of the story. So basically, after Fir'aun and Musa basically started arguing, and then basically they, you know, went their own ways, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala basically told them that we would give them signs. First, one of the first signs would be a drought. But whatever signs that they give, it will only inflict the people of Fir'aun. It would not inflict the people of Musa, you know, so Ben Israel. And so the next, you know, Fir'aun, he would like go through these signs. So one of them would be a drought. And then he would be like, you know what, Musa, go call your Lord and then ask him, you know, basically ask him to take this away from us, and then we'll follow you guys. So Musa alayhi salam will go up, and then he'll go up, and then he'll ask Allah. Allah will take away, and then he'll be like, yeah, I'm not going to believe you. And then next thing you know, Allah is like, okay, another sign. I forgot what the other sign was, but there's multiples. One of them was basically a lot of mosquitoes. Mosquitoes will come in and bite them like crazy. And so the next thing you know, he'll ask Musa alayhi salam, so please ask your Lord. We don't want this. We'll come. We'll follow. Musa alayhi salam will ask him, and the next thing you know, he'll be like, yeah, you really thought I'm not gonna give in. So next thing you know, he's like, okay. The next thing you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he sent frogs from everywhere, frogs in their food, frogs in their river, frogs everywhere. And then next thing you know, basically even in their sleep, imagine this frog just being everywhere. Wherever you go, it's just a frog coming out your plants, coming out your food, coming out your toilets, everywhere. You know what I mean? So next thing you know, Musa, Fir'aun, he's like, please, I'm begging you, please beg your Lord to take this punishment away. Musa alayhi salam goes, and next thing you know, then Fir'aun's like, you really thought. So next thing you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he made their water, whatever it touched, turned to blood. You remember that part?
Yeah.
Whatever so they couldn't drink anything. You know what I mean? Their water became into blood. Their shower became into blood. The thing that they were drinking became into blood. All the stuff that they used just basically became into blood. You know what I mean? And so next thing you know, he asked Musa, Musa, you know, can you do us a favor, man? Ask your Lord one more time if he can get this sign that we'll start believing you. So next thing you know, Musa alayhi salam did it. And next thing you know, he's like, you really thought I wasn't going to follow. And he just signs after signs. Is that what did he say? He said locusts.
Yeah, the frog.
And then lice. Basically, everybody had lice. There was another sign of everybody having lice.
The
Everybody
Fir'aun
itching and
people.
scratching. Yeah, basically, the people of Fir'aun, everybody scratching, be getting itchy and everything. People was losing hair. They were shaving their hair and everything. So they see, and then. So basically,
You
after
got
that,
stuck over there.
I don't know, yeah, because like Fir'aun also, he had to shave his head because there's I know it's just all bones, but I'm pretty sure, you know, the picture of they had like this animated version of Fir'aun, how his facial structure would look
And
like.
he was bald.
And then he looked like, basically he was bald. And that just shows you, like, I'm pretty sure that man shaved his head during the time when he had a whole lot of lice. You know what I mean?
No, I think I think that was his style though.
Was it his style?
I think it was his style, yeah.
I don't know.
Because that's what the time of the Egyptians, that's what they did. They would shave their head, put in the coal, you know.
Yeah, I know that.
That's their style. But the lights did happen to the people. It was one of the signs, the frogs.
Probably a lot of the women shaved their heads.
Yeah. But the thing is, the moral of the story is this guy was arrogant.
It was arrogant.
Imagine saying to someone, "Hey, I hate you, man." Then your car breaks down. "Hey, I need you, man." You know, he fixed your car for you. Still hate you, man. Okay, my house is on fire. Come help me.
Come help me. You
Like,
call the fire department.
bro. He's showing you all these things.
I swear.
You know, and then you still choose not to believe it because you think you're all might. You think you have control. Do you think what Allah has given you is what you have worked for, or what you have, what you deserve? It's not what you deserve. It's what Allah wills for you. Okay, there are some people that do work hard their whole entire life, don't get the fortune that they want. Okay, that's khair from Allah, protect them from other things. You know, and then there's people that don't work, and you see them in a wealthy family. You know,
in a wealthy family and everything. And then also this shows that like humans are also like masha. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a very merciful, very merciful, ar-Rahman and ar-Rahim, you know? Very merciful and very gracious. And even us, even the regular Muslim person that practices, he commits sins all day, all night, you know what I mean? There's not a single person on this earth that can say that they never committed sin. And even if there was, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, even if there was a nation that did not sin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would wipe out that nation and replace him to a nation that does sin just so they can make tawbah to him, you know? So basically, this is also another lesson that I saw within it, that humans, sometimes we are so ignorant and so arrogant that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would give us, like, the problems that we have in this first world country, you know, in America, it's not like crazy problems. We're not worried about our houses getting bombed. We're not worried about police coming in and beating us up. We're not worried about being basically, what's that word called? Basically being, I don't want to say judged. What's that word called? What? It's not interrogated. I don't know how to say it. Pressured. It's basically not pressured.
Forced
discriminized. We're not really getting discriminized to the point where it's affecting our lives, or basically to the point where it's not giving us, we're not able to get a job, or we're not able to feed the family, or we're not able to do basically the everyday thing that we are able to do. We can still buy cars, we can still go to work, we can still be in the same school as other people with different religions, you know? So basically it's like, but us as people, we still sin, we still do all these things. And the problems that we're going through is nothing compared to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the test that he got the whole other side of the world going through. There's people getting bombed, there's people going through wars, you know what I'm saying? And so I just think of it like, wow, as humans could be very, very, very arrogant and very, very ignorant. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, even if you come back to me and turn to me one time and it says, Ya Rab, and he be like, what do you want? You know what I mean? It's crazy. And even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was willing to do that with Fir'aun himself too. No matter how many times he like basically like told Musa like, nah, he asked for something like, nah, I'm good. He asked for something, nah, I'm good. I'm not gonna do it. You really thought? I see that within a lot of humans themselves. Like they'll ask Allah, ya Allah, please give me this job. I'll do good for it. They get the job and then they don't pray. Or they forget, or what's the name? They basically get busy with the job. Oh yeah, Allah, I want this. Please give me Halima. And then next thing you know, they get Halima, and then they become lazy and don't pray and do whatever they need to do. It's like whatever he's doing is nothing different to what we do, what us humans do to this day. You know what I mean? That's one lesson that I saw from that, which was crazy.
No, but that is true. We take for granted. And I know everyone hears people say that, but we really do.
We really
take the things for granted. Fir'aun, I don't know. May Allah never put me in his shoes, and may Allah never put anyone in his shoes. But that level of arrogance is crazy.
It's crazy
because signs after signs after signs after signs. He knew. Dude. If Fir'aun was convinced, okay, he was definitely convinced that there was a higher being. Because let's continue on the story. Let me tell you why he was convinced. The people of Musa, they were living in Bani Israel. He said, I'm going to kill them that night. After all these signs, Fir'aun was done. He said, I can't have this anymore. More people are being persuaded into that I'm no longer a lord to them. You know, I'm no longer the image
powerful being basically.
I was to them because of this guy. Now he's convincing people that there is a God that no one could see. And then he asked Prophet Musa, one of the things we skipped over, it's just funny. He asked him, where is your Lord? Who is your Rabb? You know, he says, where is your Lord? He says, Allah is up. Look at this arrogance of this guy. He says, okay, I'll visit him.
That's crazy.
Imagine someone saying that. Who's your Lord? Allah. Where is he? Up. I'll visit him. Like,
that's crazy. But you know what's crazy? Later in the story, but I'm gonna touch on it. After Musa alayhi salam dealt with the people, with the Fir'aun, you know, when you have a ruler and when you have somebody dictating you and telling you how to live and the characteristics that he have, there's gonna be a point where that nation is also gonna carry that characteristic. You know what I mean? So after everything I done with Fir'aun, Musa alayhi salam had to deal with Bani Israel, and they were arrogant like a mug.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, arrogant like crazy. We'll touch on those things, but the things that they did,
they are the worst people.
They were the worst. They were the worst. Musa alayhi salam literally told Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like, basically, hey man, I dealt with people. You know what I'm saying? I had Bani Israel, and your people, you know what I'm saying? They're not gonna be, you know,
as hard
as my people.
Bani Israel people were hard.
They were crazy.
I don't know if we'll have time to get to them, but actually, let's talk about them. Let's skip forward and talk about the part where Fir'aun says, I want to meet your God. So when he says, I want to meet your God, this guy gets all the slaves. He said, build me the tallest tower so I could visit this Lord. These guys, you know, humans, when we want to do something, we're committed. So he forced these guys, they build it. They don't even pass space, bro. And this dude thinks he can beat Allah. So they build it, and guess what it does? Boom, demolished. Like Fir'aun, these things are happening to Fir'aun, and he's seeing it.
Seeing it happen.
He's seeing it happen. You know, he's saying, part of him goes, no.
It's the ego,
you know,
man.
it's his ego. So he decides we're gonna skip forward because I do want to talk about Bani Israel. Bani Israel people.
So like basically where were we at? So after all them signs happened and everything, I think it was time that Musa alayhi salam was like, okay, we gotta go.
No, because Fir'aun decides this guy's getting too many influence. Yeah, and then he says, I'm killing them. You know, he says, I'm getting rid of the people of Ben Israel. That's when Malaika Jibril comes to Fir'aun, Prophet, I say Fir'aun, astaghfirullah. Jibril comes to Prophet Musa and says, in the middle of the night, leave.
Yeah.
You know, in the middle of the night, they all gather up. They all leave. Now Fir'aun and his soldiers, they're coming into the houses, boom, boom.
Oh, you know what? As he told him that, someone else told him, like, yo, these people about to leave at midnight. And then he's like, you know what? We're not going to travel at night. We're going to travel in the morning.
That's when he fights, because he gets up. He gets up all his soldiers. Now they want to kill him. Because Fir'aun promised, we're going to kill them that night. Now they get up. Boom, everybody's gone. They're like, these people are gone. Let's go after them. This guy, bro, look at the confidence. He goes, nah, I'll get on tomorrow.
He basically said, you know what? I don't want to travel at night. I'm going to get these people tomorrow morning. And we're going to catch up with them anyway. How much far can they go? I got horses. I got camels. I got an army. And then, and there's some narration that said that his army was about 1 million people.
Yeah. It
was
was
big as like 1 million people.
No, if Allah wanted them to catch up to them and destroy them, they would have destroyed them instantly.
But it was like 1 million people that Fir'aun had as the army, that the Pharaoh had.
It was a lot.
It was 1 million people, basically.
It was, and then Bani Israel, they were like 600. Was it 300?
I don't know. Let's check it up.
But it was a lot, and because the when the people, they kind of did caught up to them though.
They did.
Yeah. Let me see.
Army, just put army.
Army. La ilaha. What is it?
This one says.
Bani Israel were 300, I think.
Were they?
But Allahu Alam.
But there's some narration that said it was. I think
it was a
this
lot.
This one says 100,000, but we know it was a lot of people. So basically, a whole lot of people. So for the own, basically, like, all right, we finna get them in the morning. We're not gonna travel at night. It's better if we're gonna rise up and get them in the morning. because they're not gonna make it far. That's what he said. These people are walking through foot. We got horses and camels. So you know what I'm saying? We finna get. Basically we finna get on their heads. So once Musa alayhi salam, he got to basically he took his people. He took Bani Israel, and then they were walking, and the people got families, people got babies, people got herds and animals and cows and cattle. All that is going with him. You know what I mean? And everybody just walking, and then they left that night. You know what I mean? Knowing that, and also these people had to trust Musa alayhi salam, because this is like, if it all gets us, like, we're all dead. You know what I mean? We're all dead. We gotta make sure that this man get us straight. So next thing you know, as they are walking, they get to the river. Some people say it's the Red Sea or a sea.
It was a sea.
A lot of people say it's the Nile. I don't know which one it is.
It was one of the seas.
It was one of the seas. It could either be the Nile or it could be the what's the name?
A lot of people are saying the Red Sea though.
It could be the Red Sea. So next thing you know, he's like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And then he could hear basically Fir'aun's army, like,
it's the people in the back line.
Yeah, in the back
they're
line,
like, they're close to us. They start to panic because there were a lot of soldiers. You can hear them approaching, and like with the confidence they had, they were like, "Oh, these guys are in our hand." Because Fir'aun already knew about the sea. I'm pretty sure he had
they
strategists. He said they're not gonna go through it. We're gonna take our time. He's arrogant. Now they see the people, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, we see them now. We're gonna easily crush them." And Bani Israel are like, "A'udhu billahi min shaitan. What are we gonna do?
What are we gonna do?
Where there's nowhere to go. There's all that they see is the sea, and people, no one would just go to swim.
They ain't got no boat.
Go
they
in.
Ain't got no canoe,
This is the sea.
Like
it's the big sea. Like, they're all confused, and the other side is all the way over there. Now they're panicking. They're telling Musa, "This is where the arrogance starts." Bani Israel people, this is where they start going. You're gonna get us killed now.
You're gonna get us killed.
We should never have followed you. They're doubting now. They're doubting the prophet. But Allah talks to him. Kalimullah.
Kalimullah.
He talks to him. He says, "Hit your stick."
Yeah, basically smack them up.
Strike it.
Like, strike it on the ground.
Was it 3 times?
It was once.
He says, "Strike."
It had to be, strike your stick.
Strike your stick. And the prophet listens. Allah's talking to him, He tells his people.
You gotta think, like, I'm imagining myself, like I got a whole army behind me about to kill me and my peoples. And I got these people telling me, "You gonna get us killed."
And they're yelling in your ear.
They're yelling in my ear.
Not just one guy.
Yeah.
It was 300 or something,
It's like you got a whole bunch of people, you know what I'm saying? Basically, let's just say
a village.
A village, bro. You got a whole village. They behind you, yelling in your ear. You got an army coming to you, and you gotta see
in front of you.
Trying to walk through it, and then
but
someone tells you, "Hey man, strike your stick on them."
You have to realize how calm he must have been.
Yes.
When Allah told him what to do, and Prophet Musa always waited. That's the.
Yeah, they said that he had a lot of patience.
He waited. Like, these people are yelling. He didn't go, "Be quiet. I'm waiting." He didn't say that. He talked to them nice, because Allah told him.
Yeah.
Talk to them nice. Talk to everybody nice. Now these people are yelling. They're doubting him. They're like, blah blah blah. Him and his brother Harun. They're the only 2 people.
Yeah.
And Harun knows Allah's talking to his brother.
Yeah.
He says he tells them Harun. He was a nice guy. He didn't really get involved. You'll see why I say he didn't really get involved like that much. He did get involved, but he wasn't like strict and hard on people,
Yeah.
He would just stay there, and then he would do what his brother told him. Just imagine you and your brother just standing there and waiting for the response of Allah, and these guys were yelling in your back. Hey, yo, man, imagine on the soccer field when someone gets a foul and the ref doesn't do it, it calls it, and everybody just runs to the ref and start yelling in his ear,
Everybody getting red cards.
This guy. And the ref just like panics, Blows his whistle. Done. Forfeit. This is done.
It was everybody in my ear. But I don't know what to do. Leave me alone. I'm trying to get a message.
I'm lost.
I'm lost.
The prophet only knows what Allah tells him.
God.
He doesn't know everything. So he's standing there. Allah tells him, "Strike your stick."
Strike your stick.
And he has confidence on Allah. The prophet doesn't know the sea is gonna split.
I swear.
Allah tells him, "Strike your stick," and he believes. I'm pretty sure it brings him sensation. He strikes it. the sea opens
and it goes high. It goes up.
it splits.
Splits, bro.
And now
I've seen when I was in Africa, I've seen how an ocean looked like with no water. Like we're in Mombasa, and basically in the early morning, I went to the beach one time, and basically in the evening, the ocean is packed. Like the beach is packed, there's water flowing and everything. Everything's deep and everything. You good. But when I went there in the morning, bro, I could literally see the sand, like the ground, and it's like dry. It's barely any water. So I'm not gonna say I know what basically what he saw, but basically I could basically picture
it.
basically like how dry the floor is, basically how vast and big the sea could be, how like and I think this happened during when the sun was rising.
It was during the day, yeah.
Yeah, it was
because they
during
could
the
see each
daytime.
other. If it was nighttime, they wouldn't have seen the soldiers.
Yeah, so basically it was daytime. So I basically could picture. So I picture like the
blue
ground being damp, a bit muddy, but it's like sand. And the next, like no water at all. Oh my God, it was. I'm pretty sure it had been crazy.
It was crazy.
He was shocked.
That's when Ben Israel faith was like a roller coaster. Now they were just panicking. They were doubting. They think they're gonna die. Allah gives them, saves them. And now they're like, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Like, hey.
They're like, we're saved.
We're saved.
And they go across the sea, And now, guess who also is witnessing this?
Pharaoh.
He's there. He's watching.
He's like,
this man split the sea, and if I see someone split the sea, I don't know. That's kind of crazy.
I'm gonna be like, yo, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. But
it's something else.
But the arrogant, he goes, well, he split the sea. Let's go through it.
Oh God, we gonna make it.
Let's kill him.
We gonna make it.
What? But he split the sea. You still want to kill him?
I swear.
Of all the signs, you should be amazed. Now Fir'aun just goes, let's go in. Takes all his soldiers. Now they're a bunch. Allah waits for the whole army to get in. Till the last person they get in. What? Takes Fir'aun. Now Fir'aun, this is when Allah promises him that you will be a sign,
You'll
something
be signed for the people
to look upon,
so people
to
look
fear,
upon him, basically.
not
fear.
to do. He says your body will not be damaged.
We will preserve your body, basically.
The water splits them out,
Spat them out.
Boom, just lays it. Not till this day, Fir'aun's still the same. Until Yawm al-Qiyamah,
I swear, that's crazy.
But then, that's not even the sad part of the story. You know what? The other people who witnessed this, the people who just had doubt, and the Prophet has strengthened their faith, gave them sign. Now he showed them. He said, your safety is in my hand. And he's proven to them. He brought them across the sea. Now, I think they're in Egypt now. They leave. No, they left Egypt. They left Egypt. I don't know exactly. Allahu Alam. Allah knows where they went to. Now they went to this place where there's no tree, nothing, just sand, nothing.
Nothing.
They're like, imagine this, bro. The Prophet saved you, and now you're like, where's the trees, food, and everything?
Before we get into that, as Fir'aun was basically dying, and they said also in the Quran, it says that his body was tossing and turning. People are looking like, wow, this guy claimed to be God, and he's over here looking like this in the ocean. And that's when, and I'm pretty sure that's also another sign, like these people like, wow, this man really not God. The way he going through this water, he getting beat. You feel me?
Because the person it was suffocating.
Yeah, it was suffocating
water.
Basically. And so then after all, as that's going on, Fir'aun was basically, before he died, he's like, I believe in the God of Musa.
He said it.
Yeah, him and his brother Harun. He said it. And then next thing you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's like, oh, now you believe. Now you're going to believe. After all the times I warned you, we did this, we did that, all of this that we did, all of this that we tried to convince you. You now going to say, you know what I'm saying, you believe in me?
But that's too late.
Too late,
and even he didn't have intention. He only said it to be saved. Just like the other times when the frogs came in. He didn't believe. He knew Prophet Musa had Lord. You know, he knew he could do something about it. He knew he was weak, useless in a time of needed. So he depended on someone that could save him. Now he knows, oh, the Musa, his Lord has saved me a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times. He saved me a bunch of times. Now he's saying, oh, before I drown, I believe.
Yeah,
I believe.
But also, we can't even say that he did it just to be saved, because there was an
No, but-
incident. Because there was an incident that happened where
Jabril.
it wasn't Jabril.
was
There was an incident that happened where I don't know exactly. So basically, there was an incident of this leader. I think his name is Abdullah, and basically he was like a 17-year-old leader. And there were some people. He was a leader of an army. This is the time Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was a leader of an army. And then next thing you know, there were some other non-believers. They were talking smack. They were talking smack about the army. Basically there was an argument, and basically they was saying bad things. I don't know what they were saying bad things about, but they were saying basically some gruesome words. So next thing you know, Abdullah, being the army and the captain, he started chasing this man, and it was two people. One person went another way, then the other person went another way. So Abdullah started chasing that one person. And then
He's the companion, right?
Yeah, him and the companion. So then they found him and they cornered him. And then as soon as they were about to, as soon as he was about to strike him, right? He said, La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. And the next thing you know, the team, he's like, man, you just saying it just because you don't want me, you want to get killed. So he went on ahead and killed them. So next thing you know, Rasulullah came. Now he ain't came. So next thing you know, he told the story to Rasulullah. And then he said, and then he told him how he was saying La ilaha illallah before he died. And then he killed him. He was like, what? You what? He said La ilaha illallah and you killed him? You killed the man that said La ilaha illallah? You killed the man that said, and he said that 3 times. And then basically he told him he was saying it just to save him, just to save himself. And he said, did you open his heart and looked inside? Basically. He's like, nah. So basically how you gonna say that he did it for himself, but you don't know what's in his heart?
That is true. What you're saying
that's one hadith
is true.
It's like that.
But that hadith is completely different.
How is it different?
Let me translate. There's another story I'll give you that you'll realize why I'm saying this. Fir'aun didn't mean it intentionally. He just said it to be saved. Okay? So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and him and Jibril, they would always have their time of quality, They would talk. So Jibril was telling him, okay? Jibril alayhi salam, he was there for all the prophets. Okay? Jibril tells him, he says, one time Fir'aun was drowning. You know what I did? I kicked dust into his mouth. This is why we are positive on Fir'aun just said it to be saved. The Prophet Jibril, that's the Prophet Jibril. La hawla wa la quwwata. The Jibril tells the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he tells him, one time I kicked him. When he was drowning, I kicked him. You know why he was telling him this? He said the rahmah of Allah, the kindness of Allah, Allah will forgive you. Only Allah knows when He'll forgive you. Allah could forgive you for it could be a guy who's committing zina, and then someone puts a gun to his head, and then he becomes pious, or he becomes not pious, he becomes a Muslim, and he dies like that, and Allah will forgive him. Allah has the mercy. Allah could forgive anyone they truly intend. He said, Fir'aun was drowning. I was there on the day Fir'aun was drowning. He's telling Prophet Muhammad, I was there on the day Fir'aun was drowning. I feared he would ask Allah to forgive him, and he would truly believe that. He would truly believe in Allah and ask Allah for forgiveness, and then I feared Allah would forgive him. Okay, this is Jibril. I'll show it to you. This is the Jibril. Okay, no, the Jibril is connected to Allah. Most of the prophets, Allah tells him, Jibril brings it to the prophet. Okay. Okay, the only prophet that didn't do that, it was Musa. Musa and Allah talked directly. Jibril was there for all the prophets. He says, I know Allah. I'm his right hand man. I know him. I knew he would forgive. I feared Allah would forgive him if Fir'aun intended. So the Jibril, he did kick dust into his mouth. Allah responded to him. He said, you kicking dust into his mouth does nothing. If Fir'aun was intended to be forgiven and intended to be a good Muslim, I would forgive him. Matter of fact, if you kicking him, putting dust into his mouth, none of that would have worked. If Fir'aun truly intended what he meant, what he said,
this is Allah saying this.
Allah say this to Jibril, okay? The Jibril is a malaika, okay? They don't do anything wrong. But Jibril did this because he understood the mercy of Allah. He's because Jibril was there, Fir'aun doing everything. Jibril is like this guy, you know. He sees him now. For example, if you know your dad is the nicest guy in the world, and your brother keeps making a mistake, and your dad keeps forgiving him, you're gonna try to be like, I'm not gonna let my dad see this because if my dad sees, I know he's gonna forgive him again. Let me just whoop him, you know. Jibril, this is what he's saying now. Let me stop him from saying, from what you call, from truly believing in Allah. So he kicks dust in his mouth. So Allah responds to Jibril right away. He says, you doing that has nothing
to do with
Fir'aun.
It's basically not going to hinder my mercy.
It's not. If I were to forgive Fir'aun, I would forgive Fir'aun. And if Fir'aun wanted my mercy and he truly believed in me, he would have been forgotten.
He would have been forgiven.
So Fir'aun didn't...
Not forgotten.
Forgiven. Fir'aun didn't say it to be forgiven. Fir'aun wasn't a true believer. Allah says that he's the worst of our... in the Quran. Don't ever be Fir'aun, you know? There is no he might go to hell or Allahu Alam. No, if it was Fir'aun, done deal. You know? It's in the Quran. He's alive for us to be... This is the sign. You know, this is the bad guy. This is the guy you don't want to be. You know? There's no debate. No one can sit down and say, oh, maybe Fir'aun would go to Jannah. No, there isn't. Allah has said it. Okay? He said it. That's where he's going. So Fir'aun saying La ilaha, he says it. But does he mean it? He didn't mean it. Just like the 9th time when he called the Prophet and said, pray for me, I believe in your Lord, okay? And Allah the Prophet prays to Allah, and then it happened. And then he said, yeah, he just wanted to be saved. That's it. You know? We didn't believe. He just said, oh, maybe he could help. You know, he was arrogant. You know, when arrogant people, when they're in need, they'll lean in. They'll be like, help me.
Just a little bit.
And then as soon as you help them, yeah, I do believe in you, bro. You know, it's like fan fakes. You know, fans who support you only when you win. You know,
yeah. You're only there when you need
when you're
something.
winning. Yeah. When they're losing, he was none.
He wasn't even that good anyway.
That's what Fir'aun was. When Allah gives all these hard times, and then the Prophet would come and pray for Allah, ask Allah forgiveness to forgive the people of Fir'aun and take away the sign. He would do it, and then Fir'aun would go back. I still don't believe it. This is the guy he was. Fir'aun was arrogant, and
Egotistic.
When he's saying La ilaha illallah, he didn't mean it. And then he tells to Jibril. Now Jibril, we only know it because Jibril told the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He tells him this. Allah told me, after I did this, Allah has told me. If Fir'aun really meant it, Allah would have forgiven him. It doesn't matter of what Jibril did. It wouldn't have mattered. So Fir'aun saying that, he didn't truly mean it. And there's some people that say, you know, maybe I'll do all this bad stuff, but when I'm done, I'll say it. You know,
the life you live in is the life you're gonna die in. And you know what's crazy? Even forget even hadith and sunnah and narrations of Quran. There's rappers are saying this. Like I remember there was a verse that Lil Durk said. He said, a guy who was selling nicks and dimes, that man died with a brick. Basically, he died with cocaine.
Cocaine in his hand.
And basically, a guy said he gonna forever carry his gun. That man died with a stick. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And when I thought of that, I thought of basically this other lecture. I was saying the life that you live on, that's the life you're gonna die on. So it's like, stock for off a quarter rap verse. But like, yeah.
I mean, people could relate to things,
so people
you know.
Could relate. So I was just like, the life that you live on is literally the life that you die on. If you go out, if you live a life of basically doing riba and basically cheating people, you're gonna die in a way where you're gonna get cheated. You know what I'm saying? If you live in a way where it's a very fast life and you're out here doing crazy things, you're gonna die doing the crazy things. You know what I mean? It's just whatever you live on, that's whatever you're gonna die on, and that's life. You know,
that's just simple. You know,
it's just simple. But if you wanna die in a way of, people be like, I wanna die in sujood, but they don't pray.
You're not that. I like how you say like you became a fool monk right there.
I can't tell. Like I'm not the one to tell you like because there's many. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so merciful. There's many of stories where people just did one good deed and they died on it, or they did one good deed and then they went to Jannah, and they did one good deed and they were basically saved from the hellfire. You know, I'm not saying that will not happen, but to be realistic, you know what I'm saying, to get that security, you know what I mean? It's like if you wanna die in sujood, make sure you keep
No,
staying
but
your prayer.
the things like people like who've been bad and then they die good are people from my knowledge, okay, of my knowledge, or the people that didn't know. Okay, you can't be a shack and say, "Ya Allah, forgive me." And go about your day, do the bad thing, and then ask Allah for forgiveness.
Swear.
You know, Allah does forgive, but then now that's you trying to control.
You trying to play?
Yeah,
you trying to basically
play
go
Allah
around it. Basically, you trying to go around it like, you know, Allah forgive. And then there's a hadith basically saying like the dumb one is the one that says who does the sin, but then he be like, oh, Allah will forgive me. Allah does not like those people. He doesn't like a person that's like that.
That you just said comes from Bani Israel people. I want to talk about, but we got zero time to talk about.
Inshallah, we'll
another episode.
Probably, let's touch up on it a little bit. So basically, after Fir'aun died and the Bani Israel got to see all that stuff, and they got into a place where they saw people idol worshiping. They were idol worshiping, and then next thing you know, they turned to Musa. You know what? We want to pray to God just like how those people do it. What?
No. They said they didn't say we want to. They said make us.
Yeah. So basically, they're like, we want basically whatever they're doing, we want to do it.
That's where the arrogance starts.
And that's what he's like. Oh my God! I would have been holding my head. Everything
he did. He yelled at them.
Saved you guys. Basically, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved you guys, showed you these signs, protected you guys. And now I gotta deal with you guys. I just got done dealing with Fir'aun. Now I gotta deal with you guys. It's crazy.
But remember, he had patience.
He does have patience.
The prophet doesn't overreact or doesn't do the bare minimum. He doesn't overdo it. He goes, really? After you guys just not see the sign? Allah has split the sea to save you guys from the people of Fir'aun. Idols, you guys want to be lost like them? You guys are on the true path. They go, oh, we're on the true path. Okay, sorry. And then they move on. Like these.
What? But I'll be mad like a FIFA game. I'll throw my controller.
No, me, I'd smack someone. I don't have patience.
Well, you'll smack someone.
After I just showed you that there's only one God. Allah has given me the sign to show you. You asked me to make you an idol?
I swear to God. It's like that one person, that one video that people will see, and then you ask your kid what's 1 + 1, and then you like, it's 3. What's 1 + 1? It's 4.
No. You help him. You tell him. You tell him if 1 + 1 makes 2, what does 2 + 1 make? 1. And then you tell him, no. 1 + 2 makes 3. So 1 + 1 is 2. 1 + 2 is what? 1. And then Kang so well,
he just can't hold it. He had to kept repeating and trying to bring him closer. And then it got to the point where they started worshiping a cow.
No, that's when he leaves.
Yeah, that's when he leaves. But they get that. They get stranded out and become that ignorant. Well, basically, because Musa told them, no, don't do that. And so they're like, okay, we don't do that. What are we gonna believe in? So next thing you know, they built this cow.
No, that you're skipping over 2 other things that they did.
What?
The part where the first, I'm pretty sure. First, it was the food. Okay, no, that's not the food. He tells them, go to this village. Go to this village, and Allah will make everything easy for you. They were in the sand. They were in the desert. Allah tells Prophet Musa to tell your people to go into this village. They'll be fine. Because there were these giants.
Because they missed the food that they had back in
No, that was before.
Are you sure?
That's before. One of them happened. These 2 happened, but I'm pretty sure it was going to this village first because they were in the sand, okay? They said, we need a home. We need all this. They said, Allah tells them to go into this village. And now they're like, but they know who lives in that village. There's these other villagers. They're giants though. Yeah, so they're strong. They're cruel people. They're savages. And then they're like, what? Go in. We're not going in there.
Yeah, we're not going in there because Allah told them basically Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you.
He said, go in. You will easily conquer them. Go in there. Allah is with you. They're like, no.
We're not going there. Until they leave, we staying right
We staying.
here.
And the thing, they don't go in.
They don't.
They don't go in.
Not
look,
at all.
Look at the patient the Prophet has.
I
Allah
swear.
has just told him to go in there with your people
And we'll help them out.
and we'll help them out. They say no.
We're not leaving today.
We're not leaving until they leave. Subhanallah. Allah just split the sea for you guys. Saved you guys from Fir'aun. Fir'aun was the biggest enemy in Egypt. You guys escaped that. And now Allah tells you, you're in my hands. Go in. Nothing will happen to you. Not a single thing.
Not a single thing.
Go in. I said, nope. You and your Lord go in. But that's what they literally, you and your Lord go in. When you go in there, clear it up and then tell us. Subhanallah.
Bruh.
The arrogant Fir'aun passed on to them. The Prophet just told you guys to go in. You tell them, no, you and your Lord go in. Subhanallah.
We'll be back here.
We'll wait
clean
here.
up the mess, basically.
You clean it up and we'll come in. The Prophet said, no, Allah wants us, all of us to go in. Don't fear. They said, no. The Prophet, okay, he says, okay. He gets along with, he can't leave his people. So he stays with them. So now they say, what are we going to eat? We hungry. Allah brings them food. This has never happened to anyone. Their food comes from the sky. Provided for, everything they're eating. Healthy food. They say, no, we don't want this.
We want the food that we have.
We want the oily stuff.
We want the food that we used to have.
We used to want, one of the narrations says, they said, I miss Fir'aun time. I swear. They said at least
Wallah,
at least we had good meal.
I swear. Or even there's also been a time where they said we're in a worse position right now than we did in the time of Fir'aun. It was better if we was with Fir'aun. Basically, they said we lived better while we were oppressed.
Yeah.
Then we are unoppressed.
Eat
so we
this
would like
healthy
to go
food.
back to the unoppressed. So let's go back. We lived better when we were oppressed.
The Prophet said, that's what you want? They said, yeah.
Yeah.
We ate good.
We ate good. We were living good. We ain't had to worry about nothing.
You ate it good. Allah is providing you with this healthy food. This is good for your body. Nope. We want the oily stuff. Like
as this is going on, I think of a kid. A little kid.
That's
very picky,
arrogant,
and very
kid,
arrogant. He's like, nah, but I want it like this.
You tell him to drink the medicine.
Yeah,
he wants the candy.
Even this is good, but I prefer this. Not that I'm trying to, poop on your parade or anything. I know you my dad and all, but I still want this.
I want this. You're like, but it's not healthy for you. Nope.
Hey son, this is like $300. I can't afford these, but dad,
I want this.
I still want it though.
And it's too expensive, and it's unhealthy for you. It'll hurt you. Nah, I'll still take it. But this is healthy for you, and Allah's giving you this. This is not something you're working for. You're not farming nothing. Allah is providing you this food. Just eat. Khalas, eat and pray your salat. They didn't have salat back then, but do your way of worship.
Basically, yeah, have dhikr. Basically,
Do your way of worship and eat. Allah's providing this for you. Nope. I'd rather be with it on. Like these people, they put the Prophet to so many things.
It made him go through so much stress.
And then one time, Allah says, the Prophet notices that these people need law and order. Now they're populating, and he sees them getting out of hand, and now he asks Allah to give him order. They said we need order, or else we're gonna get out of straight. They say in this, Allah says, yeah. The Prophet says, yeah, I'll ask Allah for order. I'll give you guys, the testament that comes down, the 10 commandments.
Yeah, 10 commandments.
Allah tells the Prophet Musa, for 30 days, come fast.
Fast for
leave
30 days.
Leave and come. He goes to the place where he first spoke to Allah. That's where he travels to there. And so now the Prophet...
I thought it was he just went up to a mountain.
No. He went to the first spot where Allah had spoken to him. Because that's where he felt closer to Allah. He went there. He fasted for 30 days. They weren't. He told them, I'd be gone only for 30 days. He told his people that Allah has called me to make you guys, to give you guys a rule. He said, Harun, my people or your people, keep them. Don't let them go astray. So he leaves for 30 days. Now they're expecting the Prophet to be gone for 30 days. Well, what the Prophet, one of the 30th days, he smells his,
during the 30
during the 30
his
days.
breath starts to stink up.
Yeah,
and
he
he's
smells
like,
his
you know
breath.
what? He breaks his fast.
He breaks his fast, and then he brushes his teeth. And then Allah tells him, why did you break your fast?
I don't know if it's brushing.
No, he brushed it.
I know he freshened up. He freshened up.
Whatever.
He freshened up.
He did something to make his mouth better.
Yeah,
Smell more. He said, Allah asked him, what did you do? He said, I made my breath more pleasing to you. He said, Allah responded to him, a fresh breath is nothing to me compared to a bad breath from a servant who's worshiping me. You know?
I don't want to say bad breath. Basically, the hadith went like, "Oh Musa, don't you know that the breath of the one that is fasting is more beloved to me than the smell of musk?" That's what he said. That's how that
you said it perfectly.
Yeah.
So he extended for the fact that he broke his fast that one day. Allah said, "Stay longer
for 10 more days."
10 more days. Now it becomes 40 days. Now the gap, Bani Israel people, the roller coaster people. Now they're worried. You know, they're only expecting him gone for 30 days.
And
now he's gone for a day extra. They wait one day, they wait again. He's not there. So what they do is, Shaitan, you know, takes rule in everything. He goes to Samir. That's his name, right? Samir, something like that. He goes to him and he influences him. So Samir, he wakes up and says, I seen a messenger. You know, I've seen the messenger on a horse, and his wolf he walked upon. You see his footprints is right here. They go. Now the Prophet Musa is missing. They think something happened to him. They think he died. Now remember from the start, they asked him to make them a statue so they could believe in something. So Samir wakes up. He says, "I seen him." You know, Shaitan is playing with his mind. He says, "I've seen it." He was easily influenced. He said, I seen the wolf of the Prophet, an angel on a horse. This is his footprints. So he gathers that and he tells all the people, gather up all the gold you got from Fir'aun. So what they do is they put that together, they melt it, and then the shape
turn into a cow.
Half cow is half empty. So the cow is hollow. It has spaced out. So they made it now is hollow, something that's hollow. When wind blows it,
you hear a sound.
Ooh.
These people heard it. They're like, whoa.
They're like, what?
Yeah, I heard that.
And then
spoke.
Samira goes, his name. He goes, this is the Lord Musa is talking to. SubhanAllah.
And let's start worshiping him.
So now the Prophet comes and he sees his people lady bowing down to a
and
cow.
And Harun is there. Harun is there trying to put things together. Yeah, but then this one guy is messing everything up.
Yeah,
Samira. And so then, man, when Musa alayhi salam came back, he's like, Harun, I left you with my people, and now they're out here worshiping a cow, and then not basically a cow, but basically they're worshiping a statue that they made out of gold, and he's like, and then basically as he was doing this, he was like holding it. Basically, he was like holding what's his name, Harun alayhi salam. Let's not forget to say alayhi salam because Harun was also a messenger too. So as he was doing it, he was like, hey, bro, let go of my head and my beard. Basically, that's what he was saying.
That's exactly what he said.
Stop. Let me go for my head and my beard. Imagine yanking someone with their head and their beard. So he's like, leave me alone. I didn't want them to split. Because basically, if they had split it, then it would, and you came back, then you had to deal with two different people. So I made sure they all stayed as one, so you only could deal with one people all at one time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's when he says, brother, I didn't want to split. Samirin.
That's what his name was, Samirin.
What did I call him, Samir?
Samirin. Yes.
Samirin, yeah. So he goes, I didn't want to split your people.
What name is this man talking about?
My pronunciation is off most of the time.
Yeah.
Samirin. He goes, I didn't want to split your people. Now that they're one and they're together, he says you could easily, keep them, control them. So he goes, who made this cow? And then look at the arrogant Samirin has. He goes, I did. He goes,
I'm a
this is the Lord you're talking to.
Yeah, I'm gonna take credit for what I did.
I'm standing up for what I believe. The arrogant. The people of Bani Israel, subhanallah. But these guys are on a different level.
They're on a different level.
Now, I think they're even, I wouldn't say they're worse than Fir'aun. But they've seen more things that Fir'aun did not.
Yeah.
Because Fir'aun has ended in the river, in the sea. But they're seeing it. There it keeps going on and on.
And on top of that, but then starts growing. And then the thing is, Musa only had to deal with one person on field on who controlled basically everybody else. So basically, at that time, it was like whatever Firaun says, that happened.
That happened.
You feel me? But now there is no dictator, there is no ruler, there is nobody. There's just this one man
Now it's
that saved you guys,
challenging.
and y'all only know this much about him. So now y'all basically challenge him like, okay, prove this to me, just like the way you did with Firaun. I would like to be proven, da 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 da. Even to the point, I the time is getting longer. So basically, just this is one specific part which is very, very funny. Because as time goes, they get more arrogant and more arrogant and more arrogant and more arrogant. There's plenty of stories, but this is one specific funny part that happens.
Wait, don't you think we should hold it for another part 3?
Part 3? You want to make it to a part 3?
Yeah, let's make it part 3. I think part 3 could be the end.
Yeah.
Because then I don't think that'll take us longer, but we took an hour.
We took an hour. We wasn't really trying to go this far, but alhamdulillah, speaking about something that's fun, not fun, something that's very educating. You get a lot of lessons out of it, a lot of life lessons out of this too. MashaAllah, alhamdulillah. So basically, we're going to wrap it up right here, and hopefully we make a part 3 to this. Inshallah, there'll be more information, more stories, more other topics that we're going to talk about. Because, this is one responsibility of being a Muslim is basically like learning your religion, acquiring knowledge, and getting to know basically the history of your religion. Once you know the history of your religion and the stories of the prophets, it'll really give you a firm basis. And the more you listen to it, the more you understand it, the more lessons that you'll find within it. So hopefully you guys took and grasped a lot and got educated for the viewers out there. And hopefully if we said something crazy, if we said something incorrect, please correct us. We could be wrong.
We're human.
We're all human, We all make mistakes. So until another time, see you guys next week.
And we're saying this for the educational purposes of us learning. Jay says some stuff that I'm new to, and I'm sure I say something that he's new to, and we're all learning. So if you feel like we said something that you want to educate us on, feel free. The comments are there. You could slide up, DM us on Instagram.
Yeah.
But let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
So, Bismillah when we start, and Alhamdulillah when we finish.